Introduction to Second Samuel. Author unknown, possibly Gad and Nathan. Date written probably between 1010 and 931 BC. However, the book was not put into its final form until some years later, possibly between 930 and 722 BC. Time span about 40 years during the reign of King David. Title: Although Samuel is not living during the time this book takes place, it is named after him because he is the one who anointed David, the main figure of Second Samuel. Background: Second Samuel is a sequel to the book of First Samuel. The narrative of the life of David continues with his being crowned king of Israel. At the death of Saul, Second Samuel covers the majority of David's 40-year reign in Hebron and Jerusalem. Samuel also reigned 40 years. First and Second Samuel consist of one book in the Hebrew Bible since they cover the continuous story of Samuel, Saul, and David. Where written, unknown, probably in Israel. To whom? To the Israelites. Content: The life of King David dominates the book of Second Samuel. First, David rules over Judah for about 7 years. Then his kingship is recognized by a unified Israel, over which he reigns for 33 years. During this transition, the capital is changed from Hebron to Jerusalem, where the Ark of the Covenant is located. David's military victories expand the borders of the Promised Land, and his triumphs bring the nation to the very zenith of her power. David's triumphs quickly turn to tragedy in the middle of his reign, however, lust when his lust towards Bathsheba ultimately leads to adultery and murder of her husband Uriah, Uriah. 2 Samuel chapter 11. The prophet Nathan rebukes David and his son and his sins, and David earnestly repents and is restored to God. But the price of sin still has to be paid. His son Absaloms revolt, civil war, and unrest in the nation. Although the fame and glory of David has now diminished, never to be the same again, God still blesses. For to David and Bathsheba is born Solomon, who will succeed David as king and become part of the royal ancestry of Jesus Christ. Keywords: anointed, David. The entire book revolves around the anointed life of David. His victories and his failures are given in light of his position, which could only have been given to him by God. Themes: God can accomplish extraordinary things through the lives of ordinary people. Our total trust should be only in God, not in men. Though forgiven, we still must pay the consequences of our sin. God is ready to forgive us and use us. If only we will repent and place our faith in him. There is no sin so great that God will not forgive us if we sincerely forsake the sin and turn to him. Obedience brings victory, disobedience brings defeat. As a ruler thrives, so thrives the nation. As a ruler stumbles, so stumbles the nation. Outline. Number 1. David's reign over Judah begins. 2 Samuel chapter 1 verse 1 through 2 Samuel chapter 4 verse 12. Number 2. David's reign extends over Israel. 2 Samuel chapter 5 verse 1 through 2 Samuel chapter 10 verse 19. Number 3. David sins. 2 Samuel chapter 11 verses 1 through 27. Number 4. Troubles result for David's house. 2 Samuel chapter 12 verse 1 through 2 Samuel chapter 18 verse 33. Number 5. David is restored as king. 2 Samuel chapter 19 verse 1 through 2 Samuel chapter 20 verse 26. And number 6. Commentary on David's latter years. 2 Samuel chapter 21 verse 1 through 2 Samuel chapter 24 verse 25. May the Lord add a blessing to the introduction of 2 Samuel.